Hello again, Bat fans! In this episode we check out the introduction of Tim Drake as the new Robin. Also, forgive me if my voice sounds a little bit funny, I'm kinda sick at the moment, so that's why my voice sounds a little bit strange. Anyway, let's get started with Batman, A Lonely Place of Dying. Batman is fighting a very dangerous criminal known as the Ravager. The fight takes place on top of a dam, but it ends when Ravager falls to the water. The Dark Knight takes the Batmobile to get back home, unaware that someone was taking pictures of the whole fight. This mysterious person decides that now it's time to check up on Nightwing. Elsewhere, the man responsible for sending the Ravager to attack Batman starts listening to a voice coming from the radio, a voice that tells him to come up with a new plan to kill Batman. Back at Wayne Manor, Bruce recovers from his last fight. The injuries are serious and he is in pain through the whole night. In the morning, Bruce feels better, but Alfred tells him the truth. He is tired of healing Bruce's wounds. Ever since Jason died, Bruce has become reckless and violent, and Alfred tells him he should try to use his mind to stop criminals instead of his fists. Bruce is speechless, and when nighttime comes, he simply goes out as Batman without saying a word. Following a clue, Batman goes to a place where some criminals are stealing books. In the struggle, Batman realizes that Alfred was right. He has been reacting with violence instead of thinking. As he takes down the criminals, Batman finally realizes that the man behind the recent crimes is none other than Two-Face. Meanwhile, the mysterious person can't find Nightwing, and after checking with the Titans, he goes to Dick's apartment, where he realizes that Dick has gone back to Halley's circus. Dick finds that the circus has not been doing well and is about to close doors because there have been too many accidents. He decides to stay that night and be part of the show. The mysterious person arrives to the circus and watches the show from the audience, looking for Dick Grayson. During the show, there's another accident and a lion kills the lion tamer. Dick manages to stop the lion, but this is the last straw. Halley's circus will have to close. In the night, Dick comes across the mysterious person that has been spying on Batman and him. He is just a young boy, but he gives Dick a bit of information that helps him find out that the accidents at the circus were caused by the strongman and the dwarf. Thanks to this, the circus is saved, and Dick becomes co-owner of the place. After the whole incident, the young boy tells Dick Grayson that Batman needs him. Dick is quite shocked when he realizes the boy knows so much about Batman and Robin. Meanwhile in Gotham, things have become much more complex because Two-Face still wants to get Batman, and Batman is also out to get Two-Face. In the meantime, Dick takes the young boy to Wayne Manor, where he explains the situation to Alfred. The boy is called Tim Drake, and he met Dick Grayson as a small kid at the circus, the same day that his parents died and Batman appeared in his life. Tim couldn't forget those moments, and when he watched some footage of Batman and Robin on the TV, he realized Robin had to be Dick Grayson, and since Dick Grayson was Bruce Wayne's ward, Bruce Wayne had to be Batman. Tim deduced all of it and became obsessed with Batman and Robin. He followed their adventures and their lives. He knew about Jason becoming the second Robin, and after his death, he noticed Batman became more violent and reckless. And the reason why he has been following Batman and Nightwing is to tell Dick to help Batman like only Robin can. As all of this is happening at Wayne Manor, Batman and Two-Face prepare their traps on the exact same moment. So of course their plans fail because they never cross paths and each of them are lured into each other's trap. Both of them have proved to be too clever for their own good, but Two-Face keeps hearing the voice coming from the radio. Batman also realizes that his plan failed because he wasn't thinking well. He hasn't been ever since Jason died, and he starts wondering what he can do to change that. Tim knows exactly what to do, and he asks Nightwing to become Robin again, but Dick will not do that. He will go out to help Batman, but not as the boy wonder. At that moment, Batman tries to contact Nightwing by calling the Titans, but of course Nightwing is not with them. On the other hand, Nightwing tries to contact Batman by telling Commissioner Gordon to turn on the bat signal. This also doesn't work, but thanks to Raven's powers, she locates Nightwing and gives him an encrypted message from Batman. The message includes all the clues left by Two-Face, and Nightwing knows this is Batman's way of asking for help. The two heroes meet outside of Two-Face's hideout, But instead of planning their move carefully, as Nightwing expected, Batman decides to jump straight into the place and capture the criminal. Because of this rushed approach, Batman couldn't see that Two-Face prepared a trap for them. A bomb is detonated and causes the ground floor to collapse into the basement, trapping Batman and Nightwing in the rubble. Before the incident, Nightwing activated a homing signal that is relayed to the Batcave. Alfred and Tim know that Batman and Nightwing are in danger, and there is only one thing to do. Tim Drake takes the mantle of Robin, and with Alfred, they go to save their friends. As they arrive at the place, Two-Face detonates another bomb, causing the whole building to collapse on top of the heroes. Alfred and Tim arrive as Two-Face is leaving, and after a brief confrontation with the Maniac, they decide to focus on saving Batman and Nightwing, giving Two-Face enough time to escape. Tim saves Batman and Nightwing, but Batman refuses to call him Robin. Once outside, Alfred, Nightwing and Tim point out the dark path that Bruce has taken ever since Jason died. Tim explains that Batman needs a Robin because they are not just crime fighters, they are symbols of hope and justice, and symbols can't be killed. Batman changes the subject by pointing out that Two-Face is still on the loose. Tim reveals that he placed a tracking device on Two-Face, and Batman finally agrees to take the boy with them. They find Two-Face on a wrecking yard, and thanks to the combined forces of Batman, Nightwing and Robin, they finally capture the criminal. In the aftermath, Bruce considers the possibility of training Tim Drake to be the new Robin, but it's something that will happen much later. However, the voice that Two-Face listened on the radio keeps talking. It was actually the Joker's voice, who is slowly recovering to make a great comeback. That was Batman: A Lonely Place of Dying. This storyline is very different from other Batman stories because this is actually a crossover that happened between the Batman and the New Titans comics. This crossover was made possible because writer Marv Wolfman was doing both titles at the time. And speaking of Marv Wolfman, in this story he shows us that he understands Batman thanks to a great characterization. This storyline is all about the evolution and growth of Batman as a character. In Batman Year 3, Marv Wolfman showed us how Batman became more violent after the death of Jason. Now, in this storyline, he shows us that it's all in the psychology of Batman. Marv Wolfman explains, through the voice of Alfred, that Batman is just as obsessed about family as he is about fighting crime. And that makes total sense. When Dick Grayson left Bruce to become Nightwing, Bruce not only lost his partner, but also his son, and he needed someone to take that place. Jason took the place of Dick Grayson, but when he died, it hurt Bruce the same way as the death of his parents, because Jason was also his family. And that's why Bruce lost control of his actions and became more violent. Tim Drake also understands this, and that's why he is the perfect candidate to become the next Robin. Marv Wolfman did an excellent job of introducing Tim and giving him something that Jason never had, a real connection to the Batman mythos. The origin story of Tim is very emotional, and it works because his story is connected to the origin story of Dick Grayson. That is brilliant because when Tim becomes Robin, it feels like he is the rightful successor. Jason never had that. He was just a kid that Batman found on the streets. Tim Drake earned the right to become Robin. Jason never deserved it. As I said before, Tim's origin story is brilliant, and that's the right way to introduce the new Robin. But Marv Wolfman not only did a good job with Batman and Tim. Just like in Year 3, he also showed us the best sides of Nightwing and Alfred. Both of them act as the voice of reason, and they make Batman understand that having Tim as the new Robin is not such a bad idea. Alfred and Nightwing are just as important as the villain of the story, Two-Face. Marv Wolfman also did an outstanding job with Two-Face, showing us the duality of his personality. However, and this is my opinion, the plots with Two-Face can become very predictable and his crimes with the number 2 can get very old, very fast. But I digress. Marv Wolfman did a good job with all the characters, except the Titans. Even though 2 chapters of the story take place in the Titans comics, the Titans are very irrelevant to the whole story. Personally, I don't mind, but I guess that the fans of the Titans might think this was a little bit unfair. Overall, A Lonely Place of Dying is a great story and the best possible introduction for the new Robin. The highlight of the story is the speech that Tim Drake gives about Robin being a symbol. It's very eloquent and makes a lot of sense, which is why he deserves to be Robin. Another highlight is the third chapter of the story. It takes place in Batman 441, and it shows us the duality between Two-Face and Batman. It's a fantastic way to show how the hero and the villain think by contrasting and comparing their actions and thoughts to show how similar and yet how different they are. This chapter shows us that they think in the same way, but for different purposes. It's brilliant. Now, as much as I've praised Marv Wolfman, I have to give credit to the amazing artists involved in this story. Not only did we get Jim Aparo back on Batman, the 2 chapters that happened in Titans were illustrated by George Perez himself. Jim Aparo and George Perez in the same story. That's freaking insane! 2 of the most iconic artists for Batman and the Titans. It doesn't get more classic than that. And finally, the most shocking thing about this story is the Easter egg at the end of the story, when it's revealed that the Joker was manipulating Two-Face. The last time the Joker was seen was in A Death in the Family, and he disappeared in the explosion of his getaway helicopter. Here we see Joker recovering in a hospital somewhere. This little moment foreshadows the next confrontation between Batman and the Joker after the death of Jason. But before we even get there, there is another story about the Joker that we need to check out. In fact, we have to take a break from the regular comic history because around this time, something big happened and it involved the Joker. I'm talking of course about the 1989 Batman movie. This was a massive thing back in the day, and it changed the history of Batman forever. And the best part is that there is a comic book adaptation of the movie, and we are going to check it out in the next episode. So, if you don't wanna miss that, subscribe now and don't forget to leave a like. Until then, Godspeed, my friends.